What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video where I am talking about one of my newest palette purchases from BellaBeauteBar. It's an indie brand that I found on Instagram and I've been following her for a while, and I saw the Star-Crossed Lovers Romeo and Juliet themed palette and I couldn't resist. I thought the palette itself was like cute themed, but the textures and everything inside is just stunning. I love all of these different chunky, glittery, foily textures. There's some beautiful multi-chromes in here, and I was just blown away by the variety that you get in here. So I will say some nitpicky things, just getting them out of the way and letting you guys know and being totally transparent. When I first received the palette, it did have like this gluey, chemical-y smell, which I'm kind of like sensitive to smells right now, so maybe it's just me. I don't smell it now that I've had the palette and used it a couple of times and it's kind of aired out. I did also notice that they all the pans are filled a little bit differently. Some of them are flush to the top, some of them are slightly downwards. This one, which I was a little bummed about, is called Dagger because I was the most excited for this duochrome, is like barely full at all, like maybe halfway in the pan. So I did just want to mention that. I think this palette was like $50 or $49, and so it was just worth mentioning. Also, I did kind of notice that there's a little bit of a color shift with these. Like this one's a little bit more pink and this one's a little bit more purple, but this color Star-Crossed and this color Vendetta, I honestly don't know what the difference is, so I wanted to swatch them side by side because that's probably my last nitpicky thing. Both of them feel the same too. They're kind of like soft but like flaky. Yeah, they look like the same exact color to me. I guess you can see this one's a little bit more purple and this one's a little bit more pink. The slightest difference in shades. Looking at them in person, they look identical, so that would probably be my last nitpicky thing. Which I love this shade. I don't mind having like double of it, but I was a little surprised when I saw it in person, like how similar these look. Other than that, everything is performing really well so far. I do have one more look to film. This is the second one. You'll see the first one in the next segment, and we'll go ahead and get into look one. I think for today, I'm gonna definitely do Dagger, and then this like plummy Montague shade, and then maybe depending on how that looks, I will incorporate this Rivalry shade here. Ooh. Wow, and even like on camera, it's like so much more intense of a flip. That's really cool. Ooh, okay. I just wanted to see like what this was gonna look like on the eye before I decided to put in my transition shade. Sometimes with like multi-chromes, you just never know, and they don't always vibe the way you think that they will with matte shades, at least in my experience with them. Okay, so that's like a plummy dark shade on the lid. I thought it was actually going to be like a bit more orangey copper. So I'm going to go with my original plan and go into Montague. Let's just go for it. I'm going to start on the outside and tap it. And then work my way in. A little less product on the inner half of the eye. I'm just gonna go for like a gentle round shape today. Okay, so I'm gonna go back with my finger into that shade Dagger. Ooh. Now I'm going to go into the shade Rivalry. I should probably use the glitter glue for this guy. It's a very like foily, kind of chunky metallic formula. and it has like a plum shift, but it's very like taupey. Ooh, that's beautiful. I'm gonna pat some glitter glue where I want to place that down just to give it something tacky to lay down on, especially because I have powders underneath. So I think, gosh, is that gonna be lighter? So I'm just tapping that glitter glue. I'm gonna go over it with that, with that foily shade, Rivalry. Oh wow. Oh man. That's so cool. That really took over that dagger shade though. Just because it's so metallic looking. Oh my goodness, so pretty. I'm gonna go back into dagger and just re-intensify that and then lay it over that Rivalry shade. I just want to see how they blend together. Ooh, okay. Yeah, it's like giving, where they blend together, it's like giving dagger that foily effect too, but it still has the shift. Can you guys see that? Hopefully you can see that. That's really cool. Wow. Cool. Tiny bit of fallout with that foily shade. I'm going to take the same brush without anything on it that I used for that plum shade Montague, and I'm just going to start fluffing out the transition shade now that I'm done with the sparkly shades on the lid. On camera it's coming off a little patchy. In person it looks okay. Let me maybe dip in one more time and I'm going to just tap over my natural crease. I'll go in with a clean fluffy brush and just fluff the top, and that's looking better on camera. It looks good in person. I think just the intensity of my lights and stuff with the camera is making it look a little patchy. Gosh, I'm tempted to just go in with dagger for the lower lash line. Ooh, any one of these colors would be amazing for the lower lash line since this look is like really basic. So I used this color, and this color today. Do like a metallic under eye today. The smaller, fluffier brush, I am going to go back into Montague for the lower lash line and just very gently buff out right under that. And then marry it into the upper lid and the upper crease. I'm going to do a base for my inner corner highlight today with my favorite NYX Jumbo pencil in the shade Yogurt. I'm going to use a brush for it, but it is kind of another one of those chunky foily, so we'll see how the brush picks it up. I might need to use like a finger. Oh no, that did fine. Ooh, cute. I'm gonna blend that into this lower lash line. Go right over that shade. I'm gonna do the other eye and I'll be right back. So I just added a mascara after doing the other eye. I did a nude pencil in the waterline. And that's pretty much it for today's look. I think it turned out really cute. Very like ethereal and grungy and romantic, right up my alley. So very happy with my first experience with how these performed so far. I do think they need a little help with the sticky base. It just helps. But I'll play around more and give you my thoughts at the end of this video. This is just the first look, so I will see you guys tomorrow when I do the next look. Okay, welcome to look 2. We are going to probably be playing around with a little bit more of these warmer shades on the side of the palette today. I'm going to start by fluffing the shade Tragedy all over the lid. All over the lid would be like gorgeous by itself. And I'm going to dip into this color Shakespeare and just go right up above that. This is a similar fluffy blush, but it's different. So each one, I used a different brush for each one. And I'm just gonna play around with that pink tone right into my brow. So it's nice and diffused all the way up into the brow. That one wasn't quite, put it on the lid too to show you, that one wasn't quite as pigmented. It's very light and pastel, at least with this brush. And then I'm going to deepen up the outer edge of my lid with this bright violet called Bloodshed. I'm just using kind of a flat brush. And I'm just going to stay in my natural crease on the outside of the lid, just to define it ever so slightly. Then I'm going to go ahead and just like fill in this little area between my top and bottom lid. Those mattes are working really pretty together. Very light shades. With a flat brush in this shade Juliet, this really pretty like red shade. And I'm actually using a brush, not my finger. And I'm going to go on the outside of the lid and just press it in. And again, I'm not using any kind of base or primer. I just kind of want to see what these do on their own. And probably in tomorrow's look, I will use a mixing medium. And it's one of those nice, like, warm reds. I don't want to say it's orange, but it's definitely like that warm strawberry color. And I'm going to do that almost over the whole lid and up to the crease and stop. So I'm going to go in with my finger and apply over that and just see if it makes a difference. Oh yeah. Definitely not as sheer of an application with my finger, and no primer. No glitter primer. Oh, and that's pretty. It's got like a pink duochrome to it. Last shade, using a very small kind of flat brush, I'm going to go into this light kind of champagne-y shade called Poetic, which looks like that. It's kind of pinky. Ooh, so pretty. And I'm going to take an angled brush and just line my bottom lash line with that Juliet red. I'm going to tap, since it is like a chunky, I don't want too much fallout, which it looks like I'm doing okay. Into that first shade, Tragedy, and just kind of buff under that gently. I'm going to do the other eye and add some mascara, and I'll be right back to show you. Here's the finished look with those beautiful red and pink shades. I really like it. There was minimal fallout without any kind of like tacky base. I did get a little bit of red glitters, but like no big deal, considering again I didn't really prime or set the lids at all. I just wanted to see how they performed kind of as is. And I really like this look. It was quick, it was easy, and everything blended together really nicely. And this red duochrome is so cute. I like kind of forgot it had that pink shift, and I'm obsessed. It was a bit drier to the touch, that red shimmer, but it performs and looks really good on the eyes. What do you guys think? And this red shade, if you're curious, is a ColourPop Lippy Sticks in the shade Love Life. Just for fun, compare the red in this Unearthly Cosmetics palette, the cherry on top. This one here. I just kind of want to swatch them side by side just for fun and see how similar or not similar they look. So here's Unearthly Cosmetics shade red. Because I feel like it's like that warm pinky red with a pink flip as well. That one is so like soft to the touch and almost like creamy feeling. I do. This one feels a little bit drier, but they both have that like flaky kind of formulation to them too. where it's like kind of chunky and then it melts down once you've applied it. Okay, so this is Juliet. A little bit more orangey. Ooh, so pretty though. I love those. So this was Juliet, and this was Cherry on top. So as you can see, this one has that like really sparkly kind of pinky flip, and it's a bit more orange. Just for fun, in case you were wondering, I was wondering, so I thought I would do that really quick. I'll see you for the final look of this palette in tomorrow's segment. I think I'm gonna play like in here today. I'm also going to try a new application technique with this NYX multitasking mixing medium. So I'm gonna take that chunky glitter and just like put it on the back of my hand. Let's start with some transition shade. I'm gonna go into Vanished. It's not picking up on the brush a whole lot. It's a lot lighter than it looks in the pan. For today, I'm just gonna kind of do like a C shape here and just keep a lot of the darker edge in that shape. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. Like, it must be like a little hard pan. There's not a whole lot coming off on my brush. See if we can get it to build up. So that's gonna be kind of the outer edge for today. It's not as deep as I thought it would be. I don't know if you can tell, but it's just a lot deeper in the pan than it looks on my eye. On my eye, it looks a lot more like this color almost. So now I'm gonna take a Rivalry, extra on the back of my hand by scraping off some of that color. So it's kind of like a wet paste. The outside of my lid, and just kind of see how that formula does with this application technique. Okay, now I'm just gonna go over clean finger, just pat into that Rivalry shade and just go over it. I feel like I kind of diluted that a little bit and it can be more foily. Now I'm starting to kind of lift it into that other shade. Okay, so all in all, I don't think that the application technique really did a whole lot, at least for that particular shade, but I did want to try it out and see because that is a fun way to apply shimmer sometimes. I have a flat brush and I'm going to dip into the shade Destiny here and put that on the inside of my lid. It's not picking up a whole lot on the brush either. It's a really pretty shimmer though. I want to go into the shade Montague and just deepen up this outside. It's just too warm and red for what I was wanting this look to be. So I'm going to go into that and just see if I can kind of deepen this outside. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of lay it over where I initially put that. Then I'll leave a little bit of that first color peeking out just to look like a blend there. And that's layered over each other really nicely. I think that's really pretty. Into the shade Romeo. I'm just gonna clean up that edge just a little bit. Lots of kick up on that light shade. It's kind of pastel-y is probably why. Just kind of go outside the look and blend everything out. I think I'm gonna do the inner corner with this Lovesick shade. It's just like Romeo, but a bit more purpley lilac. And I'm gonna just do a matte inner corner today. I'm just keeping it in here. I'm not bringing it to the lower lash line. And it's pretty vibrant for such a light pastel shade. Beaute. On the lower lash line, it looks really similar to Destiny. A little less shimmery, I guess. Yeah, a bit more lilac as well. Okay, yeah, I definitely see that this has a blue shift, whereas this one didn't. Swatch these two side by side. Capulet and Destiny. Ooh, Destiny's like really soft, almost like a super shock feeling. This one definitely has more of like a blue shift, and this one is much softer to the touch as far as the formula, and is a lot more glittery. So there you can see the difference between the two shades. So that's it for today's look. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye and add some mascara, and I'll be right back to show you. So I finished up the look with some mascara, and I did some liner on the bottom lash line and a little bit on the top outer lash, and that was with the shade called Rust. It's a NYX Jumbo Pencil. It's just like it says, a rusty color. It's kind of brown meets red, and I thought it just tied into this look really nicely. Okay, so that's the final look for this video using the Star-Crossed Lovers palette. It turned out really pretty. There were some surprises, and I would say that mixing medium I used wasn't really necessary. I feel like the finger for the foily shades definitely worked better than some of the brushes. However, that does give you some versatility with application. If you want it to be more of a topper or more sheer, then use a brush. Everything layered really nicely, like those two colors that I was kind of messing with as the outer contour shade. Those layered really beautifully and blended together really well. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how the look turned out. I think all of these shades are somewhat similar, but I'm into like monochromatic palettes, so that doesn't really bother me. I feel like side by side they're definitely different colors. Like I showed you some of these swatches of similar shades, but I also feel like on the eyes, you know, you might not get as many looks out of this palette. I feel like I could keep going and probably do a couple more looks, especially with some of those matte shades. I was really drawn to the shimmers for this particular video, especially because this is me playing with it initially. Hey, hopefully you guys like this look, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up with beautiful. Overall, I'm really happy that I picked this up. The variety of colors and textures and formulas in here are just so much fun. I think she did a really great job with this, and these colors are just so up my alley. They're very grungy, very romantic, very bright, very beautiful. But that's today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing 3 looks with this palette, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.